I am starting with a template of a HTML file where we have the language defined, the head elements defined. So I'll start by filling the link to the leaflet style sheet. And then inside, I'm going to say that it's a style sheet. In the href, I'm going to copy the link to the style sheet. Next, I also need to link the script to the Leaflet JavaScript library. It's also going to be added just in a little while. In the style, I want it to have the following dimensions. In the body, I'm going to add a div element where the map will be drawn. I'll give it an ID called map. And then here, I'm going to add the script to the Leaflet JavaScript file that we're going to create. Right now, the source will be empty since our script doesn't have any code. Or let me just attach it. It will be script.js. We're going to add some code to it. And then back to the style, I need to define the style of the map that is here in the div element. I want the width and then the height. So I'm currently in the leaflet reference, the reference documentation. So I'm going to copy that in the href. So I just copied the style sheet, and now I'm copying the JavaScript. So I have a script.js file that I've already linked to the HTML file, but I need to write the code of the different functions that we want to showcase. I'll first start with add a document listener, which will ensure that the JavaScript file is added to the HTML once the HTML is loaded. And then the function. So I'll start by creating a variable called map. And inside it, I'm going to use the l.map function that is available in the Leaflet library. And I'm going to pass the div element that I created here, that where the map will be drawn, and use the ID map to reference it. Then I'll use .set view, and this will enable me to center the map in a particular location. I'm working with Gainesville, Florida, so I'm going to use the centroid of that city. And then right after that, I'm going to define the zoom level. And then next, I'm going to use the l.tile layer method. And inside it, I'm going to copy the map background that we want to use. And since I'm going to use OpenStreetMap, I'll just go to the leaflet documentation and copy the link. And then we use the .add to map method to specify that we want to add this layer to this variable. I can click on Shift and then load the HTML. And we can see now we have a map that is drawn, or a map background that is centered in Gainesville, Florida. The next thing I want to do is add a marker. I'm going to create a variable, and then I'll use the l.marker method, and this will create a marker at the coordinates that I'll specify. And then I'm going to follow it up with a method called .bindPopper. And this method will add a label to the marker that I want to draw. And end by adding the open pop-up method. I'll just again go to my HTML file and reload it. And we have a marker there with GNV center displayed.